to tell you about the rest of tonight's show. But that's where you'd be wrong. In fact, the singer you're going to meet tonight, Cherie Carr, you met one time before on PM Magazine Detroit about 18 months ago when he was just getting his start in show business.
Detroit is the Renaissance city, working hard in hard times to renew its position of national prominence. Cherie Records has a dream of reinstating Detroit as the music capital of the nation, as in the days of Motown back in the 60s. And they've hitched that dream to a local grocery store employee named Cherie Carr, whose song This Must Be Heaven is surging to the top of soul and disco charts all over the country.
He's the greatest. He's got rhythm, he's got soul, and he's going to take the country.
And I think it's fantastic he's coming out of Detroit.
Yes, Cherie Carr is knocking them dead. That is, when he can get time off from his job as a stock boy at a local grocery store. Cherie's success reads like a movie script that warms your heart and restores your faith in the American dream. It all began about 18 months ago when Cherie Records did a very unusual thing. They let anyone who wanted to come in and audition. Over 300 people responded. Grandmothers, lady cops, all types of people. But only a few had the right stuff. This was Cherie Carr in 1980, the first singer to be signed by Cherie Records.
Morning's just a moment away, and I'm
The contract was a dream come true for the young kid from Detroit who never had a single music lesson and still mastered 7 different instruments.
played the games that people play.
Did you really think you had a shot at the big time then?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have come down here if I didn't, so I didn't think I was better than anyone else, but I thought I was good enough if given the chance, and I was given the chance, and I hope I am still good enough. The biggest thing is, I believe opportunity comes to anyone and everyone in life at least once, but the trick is to be ready when it comes, and I think that was the edge I had up on most people.
Cherie knew he had taken a giant step toward his dream, but he kept both feet firmly planted in Farmer Jack grocery store. He knew, and Cherie Records president Norton Stern knew, that there was still a long road ahead to stardom. But Stern also knew that Cherie was willing to take whatever steps were necessary to make it down that road.
He's incredible. He's incredible, and everything I hoped for or thought about him is happening. To tell him to do something different, to make a suggestion, we get no battles, no hard feelings. He's just ready to do it. Oh, wait. And now she's dancing with the horns, 3 of them.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. I met the most beautiful lady, and now she's dancing with me.
At first, even with all the hard work and the talent, success proved elusive for Cherie Carr and Cherie Records.
We went to the studio and we recorded, and we made mistakes, and we re-recorded. Finally, we had a product that I felt was hit material, and we were still getting turned down. So we pressed the records by ourselves, meaning Cherie Records. We started some independent distribution in Detroit and New York, and we got an enormous amount of airplay and interest. And then the deals just came along.
The big deal came from Atlantic Records. In December of '81, they agreed to help make and distribute both a single and album version of This Must Be Heaven, retaining the Cherie label, a big coup for both Carr and Stern. By December the 19th, Billboard magazine was calling the tune a winner. By January 9th, the song was rising rapidly on both the soul and disco charts. And all over the East Coast, down to Florida, it was in the top 10.
The man rests on his own talent, and I want you to share that with me tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cherie Carr.
It was the toughest first night of his life, a showcase to introduce Cherie to heads of record companies like Atlantic, Epic, and Screen Gems. and record salespeople and promotional experts from all over the country. But the mild-mannered stock boy had them eating out of his hand.
How y'all doing? Let me hear you say yeah!
You know, it's another person. You know, when you put on those weird-looking clothes and you hear the band and everything and you see the people in the lights, you know, you say, okay, you know, it's showtime, you know, that's it.
I don't know how to express in words the magic that happens when that man gets up there. It's magic. It's, you know that there's a star being born.
Was a knockout, and the record people loved him. But Jerry didn't have time to stay and hear their praises. He had to be at work by 11 o'clock.
I see y'all, man. Okay. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Jerry. You're late.
Well, I had some business downtown, ran over a little bit.
Okay, well, you're going to work the meat and vegetables tonight, so let's get to it.
Okay. This business here, this recording business, it isn't that stable, but that's not my biggest fear. My biggest fear is changing my lifestyle too quickly, and like, you know, I want to keep things as normal as possible. Don't do something because you're forced to do it. Do it because you're happy, and I'm happy making music, you know.
Looks like the future could hold a touch of heaven for this stock boy turned recording star.
Let me just add this about Jerry Carr. What you see is what you get. This is as honest and decent a kid as you'll ever meet in your life. Jerry Carr, if anybody deserves to make it big time in show business, you do. We're pulling for you. Maybe we'll see you again in the future on our show.